Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to take you back to like 2011. I'm driving through St. Paul in an urban area, and I'm at a stoplight, and I look over at the bus stop, and at the window is an advertisement, and it shows an African-American man in handcuffs, and it says, voter fraud is a felony. And I thought to myself, that is a really weird ad to have at a bus stop. And what I didn't know was brewing was the voter ID amendment. And you know what was really interesting to me about that is I saw that same ad at a couple more urban places within Minneapolis and St. Paul, but I never saw the ad anywhere else. I never saw it in the suburbs. I didn't see it in rural Minnesota. Certainly wasn't in the wonderful and amazing city of Shoreview, but I saw the ad consistently in the urban areas of Minnesota, and I thought to myself, why would you put that ad there? That didn't make a lot of sense to me. And then I saw the voter ID amendment, the ill-fated failure to enact voter suppression on our state that the people of Minnesota soundly rejected. So now I come to present day, and I look at this bill, and I think to myself, we're number one in the country when it comes to voter turnout. Not only that, the only election fraud I've even heard in the Midwest recently were two people who tried to vote for Trump illegally. I can't imagine what problems this bill is trying to fix. Not only that, if I was Secretary of State, I am confident that my number one goal beyond a safe election is one that encourages voter turnout, and there really is nothing in this bill that does that. However, wonderfully, there are several things in this bill that discourage it, and that is very troubling. Senator Kiffmeyer, it is not hard to believe. It isn't interesting or surprising why the Democrats don't support this bill. It's a horrible bill. Not only is it a bad bill just in the sense of I think it's got some ill-placed priorities, but it's a bad bill because I don't think this makes Minnesota any better. At least with other bills, we can have an argument about finances and argue about where our financial responsibilities are supposed to be. This bill just seeks to stop people from voting. And I know that seems kind of harsh, but I'm getting kind of tired of the games we've been playing with these bills. And I've heard you on numerous occasions say, well, it's a legislature's job to bring the bills forward, and it's the governor's job to make decisions. And you're right, but we're sitting with 8 days left, and I'm here debating a bill that I know has zero chance of ever becoming a law. Let's understand what the word zero means. Zero chance. But we've spent how long on it talking about it? We've had staff running around trying to staff it. It has numerous really bad ideas, many of which have been enumerated already. It creates some redundancies that aren't necessary. I'm particularly thrilled by this idea that we're going to catch people who have registered to vote but haven't voted yet because they're going to show up on the list and we're going to catch them that way. I don't know of, haven't heard much about, and don't see a lot of folks out there who are illegally registering to vote. That is a fallacy that goes along with this whole argument that's been made by the right on voter fraud that just isn't real. I know our national politics can get into some theatrics and even seem like a reality show at times, and I think both parties are to blame for that. But I certainly don't want to see that kind of science-denying, fact-denying kind of claims happen here. Minnesota has the best voting system in the country. We have the highest turnout. If you were really concerned about getting turnout up, you'd look at the fact that the one area we're not doing well in turnout is our young people. When you look at the numbers on our young people, it's significantly less than the rest of the people of Minnesota, and we're still voting at historic rates. Or you would ask yourself the question, what are we doing in the off year, the non-presidential year, that causes us to be depressed in our voting rather than in the presidential year, and how can we get more people out for that? The reality is this bill does nothing to address that. Those are the two real issues when it comes to people not voting. If we want to increase voter turnout, if we want to have a populace that is represented fairly and accurately, we need everybody to get out and vote. So that's what this bill should be working on, and it doesn't. and it's a disappointment. And I have asked the governor personally and been told that he is going to veto this bill, and thank God he's going to do that.